It's the NFL on EA Sports as we are in the inner harbor of Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium. Justin Tucker set to boom this one away. And off we go from M&T Bank Stadium. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Throwing to start here is Tua. Short throw to Smith. Dancing away at the 35. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. 12 yards on the gain. A great start for this offense.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
On first down, Tagovailoa. That one caught by Tyreek Hill. And he's brought down. A good gain again. That's now 31 yards combined on those last two plays.
Well, I think when they look at their offense, they think to themselves, weapons, weapons everywhere. And they want to move the ball around. They want to spread it to different people. But you absolutely know they want to get this man involved as well. And that's what they just did on that play.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves him with 2 to go on second down. Now a 2nd and 2. On the ground, this is Devon Achane. They'll get 3 as the drive continues. It's a first down.
Not your normal call in short yardage, but the toss works very well there. Big people out in front, being physical, and they pick up a first down.
On first down, back to Achane. And all the way in for a Miami touchdown. Devon Achane, 33 yards. And the Dolphins are on the board first on the road here in Baltimore. So they get the ball on the opening drive. They take it in for the score.
And how about setting the tone right away? Everyone talks about wanting to do that, but you always hear it in every locker room. First 5 minutes of the game, who's going to set the tone? Who's going to take control? Guess who just did?
Well, now on the next drive, when you score that quickly or you're scored that quickly against, probably feel like you need to respond.
Yeah, without a doubt. In other words, you've actually put the pressure even more so on your opponent.
And he will get in to make it 8-0. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And his guys will get the football right at the 20-yard line. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They'll try and start this drive in the air. They set up the screen for Henry. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Jackson. That ball caught. It's Mark Andrews, the tight end. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple. Now a first carry for Derrick Henry. And he'll be tackled at the 45 following a gain of just 2. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. And in for the Ravens touchdown. Mark Andrews, 55 yards. And the Ravens have cut the lead back down to 2. Well, that's pretty impressive, Charles. It's one thing to be an elite speed wide receiver and have all that yards after the catch into the end zone, but from your tight end?
Yeah, you don't get that very often. What you're describing is more like a Tyreek Hill, a Devontae Adams, and Antonio Brown. You're not talking about a guy that lines up or can line up in line and look like an extra tackle on running plays. He took that bad boy downfield just like he was a scat back.
Before the game, he told me, I'm going to have a zinger or 2 today. And I was like, oh, a zinger or 2? I guess that's a zinger, right?
That's a zinger.
And he'll wisely just take a knee here. This ball will come out to the 30-yard line. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated, they both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
So in Raven territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Tua sets up to pass it. He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. Oh, and that is incomplete.
Almost feels like anything you can do, we're going to try and match or do better. We've already seen one touchdown pass from the opposition. They tried to equal it on that throw.
2nd and 10. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Complete. Smith has it. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he picks up the first before he's taken down at the 29. And again, they'll go right back to their fullback. And he'll get this one down to about the 27. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8.
Now that's the defense that they were looking for, being able to get extra bodies to the point of attack to deal with the big guy carrying the ball. You really don't want to be in a position where it's a one-on-one tackle with him.
They'll run here with Raheem Mostert. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. A 10-yard pickup, and it's enough for a Dolphins first down.
For a lot of guys playing this game, there's no better feeling than running right through a tackle. He's able to lower his center of gravity and churn his legs for a really nice pickup.
On the give, this is their fullback. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4. They've gone to their fullback quite a bit. He'll get it again. And the Dolphins are going to have a 1st and goal as some good running there gets him down to about the 2-yard line. Knock it on the door.
Now, how about that call handed to the big guy in that situation? Normally you think of him as a real short yardage runner, but in this case they trust him to get a few more yards than that. I remember an old New York Giants quarterback, a Super Bowl winning quarterback, telling me he loves offense coordinators who call the plays with a little bit of abandon.
Now Tua not liking what he sees, so he's going to signal for a timeout. So as they talk it over, we step aside. And this should be the final play before the quarter ends. So they'll let the fullback try and take him home. And he takes it into the end zone for the Dolphin touchdown. Alec Ingold taking it in from 2 yards out. And the Dolphins are able to add on to that lead. And that's why you have the fullback, Charles. Couldn't get it in the play before with the smaller guy. Turned to a little more power. They score it.
And now it has to warm the hearts of a lot of old-school football fans. They love when they get to see a little bit of power football.
Tua and the Dolphins offense staying put. They'll go for 2. They'll try and run it up the middle. And he finds his way into the end zone as the lead moves to 10. Now after the touchdown, ready to kick it away is Sanders. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And he will be taken down here as the first quarter of play will come to an end. An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. A strong showing their last time out. They scored the touchdown, but Charles, they looked up and they're still down double digits, so you feel like just to keep pace, this drive probably needs to end in the end zone as well.
And I think the best move for them is to not worry about how far they are down on the scoreboard, but to just remember the last drive and how it ended. Go ahead and try and repeat that. Then you can look at the scoreboard and see where this game is.
Jackson's throw into the hands of Andrews. That'll go for a gain of 7, and it's 2nd down.
Nice rhythm throw there on first down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. From the 38 now, here's 2nd and 3. Jackson from the shotgun. That's complete. It's Zay Flowers with it. His first catch, good for 8 and a first down.
Well, this is where reading defenses and practice time comes into play. You got to know what you're running versus zone versus man and how to run the proper route. And they just executed that one pretty well.
A first down carry for Henry. And down he goes at the 49, a 3-yard pickup. 2nd and 7. Oh, he tried to fit it in on the slant, and it's intercepted. Boy, he had to fit that into a pretty tight window over the middle. And, Charles, I think they were in zone defensively, weren't they?
They certainly were. Nice read on your part. And sometimes the quarterback isn't fooled between zone and man. Sometimes just fooled by the type of zone that he sees. Because oftentimes, those linebackers will vacate and run downfield with receivers. In this case, he played a pure zone and was in the wrong spot for the QB.
And they'll get this down to the 10. 3 tight ends in the ball game here on 1st and 10. They'll run Achane. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. Achane once more. And this time he'll run into a wall right at the 4-yard line. Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
And he will push his way forward down to about the 3-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to bring up a 4th and goal.
And sometimes it doesn't matter how big and strong and powerful you are. The defense is going to win an occasional battle, and they did on that one. Stopped him well short of picking up a 1st down.
They're going for it. Here's Tua with it. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football, and it's a sack and a turnover on downs. He couldn't get the ball away on 4th and goal. And the Ravens come up big down at their own goal line. The Baltimore offense at the line set to get going. So now, Charles, this drive maybe a touch more important, trying to erase the memory of that interception they had the last time out.
Yeah, and everyone goes through this because even the best in the game, you're going to have games where it just doesn't go right for you and interceptions result. So, frankly, to me, it's all about how you respond, not just the types of plays that you call, but how you carry yourself, how you show your team that you're still with it, and how you continue to lead.
Now Jackson on 1st down. And he'll get this underneath to Henry. And he'll get it up to the 33-yard line. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
A shotgun handoff to Henry. And he'll get it out near the 40 to the 39. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a 1st down. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Throwing is Jackson. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. Inside the 10. And this is brought all the way back. A fumble recovery and taken to the house for a Miami touchdown. And Charles, look at the big fella. What a rumble that was. Not only to scoop it, but then take it the rest of the way for the touchdown.
And now you know they're going to have to hear about it from now on. The defensive backs, he's going to want to run with them, do their drills, the whole deal. He thinks he's the pace setter now.
It doesn't matter what happens in practice this week, he's smiling. The defense more than did its job. Now the offense is summoned onto the field as they'll go for 2. They're going to try and run. And he is going to be stopped short of the goal line. Oh, they'll mark him inside the 1. He just couldn't keep churning those extra few inches. And the 2-point attempt is turned aside. So here's the kickoff now as he'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. Well, from deep in the end zone, he's going to bring this out. And this return going to come to a quick end as he is belted at the end of that one. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily when you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hands of X, Y, and Z and see if we can move forward.
So don't get too cute. Go to the playmakers. And that nearly a turnover, but it's incomplete. Oh, fortunate to retain possession there, and it's second down.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got second and third down to fall back on.
Again on 2nd and 10, it's Jackson.
Feels like they're getting caught in between here because they didn't completions on 1st and 2nd down. Now you got to worry a little bit about the clock because you prefer not to give them another shot here in the first half. But if you don't pick up the first down, guess what? You're likely going to have to.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has them staring at a 3rd and 10. On 3rd down, Henry. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. Tough sledding. They lose a yard there on 3rd.
With his size, he's a tough man to bring down, but they do a nice job there stopping his progress and not allowing him to get back to the line of scrimmage.
4th down, here's Jackson. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Dolphins get the football in great field position. So they take a big chance here in their own territory. And you think the coach may have some questions to answer?
Yeah, and, you know, normally we focus on the media, right? The social media barrage that he's going to get for this one. How about on his own sideline and in his locker room?
Yeah.
Because I think the team's going to look at him like, Coach, why would we go for it there? I mean, no.
Oh, that's into double coverage and intercepted. And the Ravens will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They'd had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
There, that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down. Draw play, this is Henry. And he'll be taken down just shy of midfield. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. This now a 3rd and 4. From the gun, Jackson. He's got his target. That's complete. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. Ravens going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, it's Jackson being chased out left. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. And this is picked up by the Dolphins. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, that's unfortunate because he had a nice run going, but give credit to the defense. They got a hand in the cookie jar there, CD.
You have to think about vision, finding a place to get down after you know you've gotten all you can out of a run, and obviously ball security is
thrown across his body, and it's intercepted. And he will bring this back. It's a pick six and a Raven touchdown. Boy, a big play right there. I mean, a touchdown on this drive could have really put some separation on the scoreboard. Instead, it's the defense who scores. And, partner, we got a game again.
And we do have one because of what you just described, a defense that understood what was going on in this game and did something about it. They knew their offense needed some help. They just provided it. They're back in this one.
That's caught, and he's got it for the two-point conversion. So they tack on a pair more here to narrow that deficit a bit further. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Coming out of the end zone, D. Eskridge. And he probably wishes he would have sat on that one. Instead, he's only able to get this up beyond the 15-yard line. First down, Miami, as they get set to start the drive. And the ball backed way up, so thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it, and we'll see these two teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
Now a 2nd and 10. Off of play action, Tagovailoa. Finds Hill on the crossing route, complete. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. The Dolphins going to take their second timeout as they'll stop it with 13 seconds to play in half number 1. Play action, now it's Tua sliding out of the pocket. And he's got some space here. And now look at this. Big gain, but a fumble. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same. Well, obviously, you never want to fumble, but if you do, good to be towards the sideline and saves them the possession.
Saves the embarrassment, saves it going down on the play sheet as a turnover. But I still think it should go to the defense, even if they don't recover it. If you give up the football, you gave up the football.
Agree to disagree, I guess.
Can you tell what I played?
Yeah, you played defense. Yeah. I'll let you go.
I took a shot.
So 2 quarters down, 2 remain. Charles and I return after the break. And how about this line out of the locker room? An onside kick attempt. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. A gutsy call there. Yangs at the locker room with a lead. Tried the onside kick. It didn't work.
And you just wonder what the gain was there. They're already in the lead. They were in control of the game. They may have given momentum now to their opponent and maybe kick-started things going in the opposite direction.
And this will be stopped at the 44. That one good for 7 yards. From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down and 3. Henry up the middle. Stays on his feet. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 51 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
And that's the big fella's MO right there. Running through tackles, keeping the sticks moving forward. This defense, if you don't bring 11 guys to the ball to try and get him on the ground, he's going to keep making runs like that. I feel the press box shaking every time he touches the rock.
2 yards the gain on the keeper, and it's 2nd down.
Typically on the read option play, when we talk about responsibilities, we're talking about what the quarterback has to go through. How about the inside linebacker, though? His job on this play, shadow the quarterback and hold him to a short gain. Did it to perfection.
And he's got another first down as he's brought down at the Dolphins' 14. A big one there for the Ravens. It goes for 18. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 14-yard line. Inside handoff, Henry. And he'll fight his way down right around the 12. They work now on 2nd and 9. Now it's Jackson. Oh, the turnover fest continues. Here's another interception. Picked off by Jordan Poyer. And the Dolphins will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line. So an opening drive interception to begin this second half.
And just think about the time you spent in the locker room going over what you expected to do in the second half. Not the way they saw it, not the way they drew it up. You find out this is something that you can't just edit, right? There's no rewrite here. This is live, and now they've got to find a way out of this hole.
And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2. From just across the midfield stripe, here's 2nd and 2. Here's Tua. he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Part of what we're seeing so far is the defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
They'll run for it with Achane. And he's going to be dumped there, but he does have a first down.
Brandon, they're still in the lead, but momentum's certainly been going the opposite direction. So to me, that's a really important pickup there on third down.
Try and regain some confidence, and you're right. They need to stem the tide a little bit. That certainly helped. Able to break through that initial contact and winds up getting about 3 there. It's second down. On second down, Mostert. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down? Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. A give to the fullback on the dive. And he's going to be a yard short. Needed 4 but got 3. So they'll pass on what would have been a 49-yard field goal attempt. And they're going for it on fourth down. A solid pickup of 5 and a very solid fourth down conversion. And defensively, pure frustration. And now a carry here for their fullback. Travis Jones makes a tackle.
Good solid gain on first down, about what you'd expect from the big guy carrying the ball.
They'll run it here. This is their fullback getting the carry. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to third down.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
The Ravens bring out an extra defensive back here on third. Now a play fake. Here's Tagovailoa. Buying time to his left. Oh, and Tua going to be intercepted for the 3rd time. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. And the Ravens are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. So this offense moving the ball well, trying to open up a 2-score lead here in the 3rd quarter, but now potentially a play that could have big ramifications.
Yeah, you've driven the ball down the field. Things are looking up, but it takes just one bad decision to throw things off the rails.
They'll be brought down on the 30-yard line after a gain of 6.
Obviously, this has not been a banner game throwing the football. So what you got to do, you got to kind of down focus, don't you think? Find the tight end, take some easier completions.
Yeah, interception last drive. There he hits the reliable target. The throw here to Andrews, the tight end. And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. Jackson to Andrews on that one. First down, Baltimore.
I know I spend a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. And he used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
You go tight.
10th carry now for Derrick Henry. And he'll power ahead, but only for about 3 yards. Second down coming up.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
Now Jackson on second down. Over the middle, complete. That's Flowers. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
And that's a much-needed first down right there. Look, they're down by 8. So logic says they don't have to get a touchdown out of this drive. But the way things are going, I don't know if I'd put it in the hands of my defense here. You might not get the ball back at all. So if a fourth down situation comes up, I'm thinking hard about going for it right here and right now.
And he'll power his way forward for about 4 yards there on the first down carry.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Henry again on second down. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be third down. But not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped him. Marked that down for a win in the defense's column.
66 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Well, sometimes, Brandon, it's just not a secret to how things get done. He's been running well all game long, and they continue to rely on him in this key situation.
They told us they were going to rely on him. They have. He comes through there, a big third down conversion. Jackson throwing complete there to Flowers. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left. Running from the gun with Henry. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 7 yards there and a first down.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
Throwing on first down, it's Jackson. Throw right side is complete to Andrews, his tight end. And he takes it inside the 10 to the 8 before he's out of bounds. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And it'll be second down. Now a handoff to Henry. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Ravens touchdown. Derrick Henry, an 8-yard touchdown run. And the Ravens have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the fourth. They'll try and run it in. And he will get into the end zone for 2. And this game now tied here in the fourth. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the fourth as the kick's away. On the return, it's Eskridge, and he'll bring it out. Oh, some hitting going on now. This has been a tight game, and he takes a big shot there on the... Return. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. They no longer have the lead after that last touchdown, all tied up in the fourth quarter. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Roquan Smith. And he'll take this down inside the 15-yard line. And they'll take possession already in the red zone and in a great spot to add points to the scoreboard.
And, Brandon, how many times have we seen a defense with a lot of field behind them get even more aggressive, right? They feel like they've got them not pinned down, but in a favorable spot for them. And they took advantage of it there, got a nice interception, and set up their offense in great shape.
Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. Now a first carry for their fullback. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4.
Normally when you see a short gain in the middle of a 3-4 defense, go ahead and pat the nose tackle on the back because he's holding things up and taking out extra blockers, which allows one of the inside linebackers to roam free and make the tackle.
Henry will get it. He's been busy today. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Baltimore. Derrick Henry with now 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. And the Ravens have broken our tie and have taken a fourth-quarter lead. They'll try and run it in with Henry. And he tries to power forward, but he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. Hill is going to take it out of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. This is 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. A short throw there. That's to Smythe, the tight end. And he'll get this up to the 34-yard line. Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now. Tua. Flush to his right. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long. Tua's throw complete there to Smith. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts as it comes with 1:25 left to go in the contest. Throwing Tua. Eluding the pressure right. And he is going to get out of bounds with the first down, so that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout.
They're not out of it yet, but in order to come back, they need to play clean football the rest of the way. He makes the correct read there, passing on challenging a blanket coverage and getting the first down with his legs instead.
Now Tua. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Defensively on the previous play, they gave up a pretty good chunk of yardage, but right there, they got a good portion of it right back.
And if we just flip it around from the offensive perspective, took a nice step forward, and how about a couple of leaps backwards after that play? They've got to figure out a big call coming up here to try and gain that yardage back.
And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout. Absolutely ideal there. Get a good size play, get out of bounds.
Well, you saw the coaching there. That is taught, and it is emphasized. Get out of bounds, understand your situation, as well as just understanding the game.
Meanwhile, Tua's throw caught by his receiver, Hill.
That completion helps out in a nice way. Now they can take a little bit more time, but guess what? They've got to make sure on their throws that they see it open, not just anticipate it.
Here's 2nd down and 3. Here's Tua. That'll be caught by Hill.
And the tight end is certainly a position built to move the chains because they can control space underneath. If they've got good hands, then, of course, they're a dynamic target. But one other thing is they're right in the sight lines of a quarterback on just about every play. And that makes it easier for the quarterback to pick him out and deliver.
Now Achane on 1st and 10. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. One final try for Tagovailoa. The quick slant caught. And he's in for the touchdown. And barring a miracle, the extra point can win this football game. Jason Sanders now for the extra point. And that might be enough to win them the football game as they now take the lead in the final seconds of this ball game. And a timeout comes in. The whistles blow with 3 seconds remaining. Yeah, the touchdown apparently wasn't enough. They're going to go for the onside kick here. And this one recovered by the hands team for the Ravens. And that's why you have your hands team out there on the field. Those are the best guys ready to make that play.
And let's face it, It was executed well. It wasn't a bad kick. It wasn't anything like that. Just that the normal outcome actually came to play. Analytics will tell you it's a very low possibility of getting the ball for the team kicking it in an onside kick situation.
You're all about the numbers, aren't you?
All about the numbers, baby. It's a new game now.
They don't lie. So a victory here for the Miami Dolphins. Well, Charles, when you look at the stat sheet, ultimately one thing sticks out like a sore thumb. One side lost this game because they turned the ball over 4 times, and that was just too much for them to overcome.
And that number might as well be in neon because you're exactly right. It just jumps up from the stat sheet. Your eyes go right to it. And with that many turnovers, they really played themselves out of this game. Too careless with the football too many times. That cost them the victory.
So that'll do it for us. For my partner, Charles Davis, and all the hard-working men and women on our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL right here on EA Sports. From Baltimore, so long, everybody.